Hey everyone, Chris here. Welcome back. Today we are taking a look at the FMS 70mm Viper Jet. This is their version 2, if you will, their 15th anniversary edition. I do like the update to the paint scheme. It's a little bit nicer than the blue and yellow. I wasn't a big fan of that one originally. I do want to mention this is essentially the same model as the E-Flight. However, FMS has done a few upgrades on this one. Most notably, they have added shock absorbing landing gear, and so that's kind of the big deal. I really like the fact that you now have oleo struts on here. And so with respect to the assembly, the model goes together really easily. It's all the major components. It all just kind of bolts together. And so you do have to go through and plug in, of course, all of your servo connections. Now the model does not come with a receiver. It does not come with a gyro. And so I've got an AS3X receiver in here with my NX radio. And I have set up the gyro. I'm just using the default gains. Honestly, that feels good to me. I don't like a super intrusive gyro personally. For me, I just want it really passive. And so that's how I've got it set up here. Now, the receiver is placed right here. I've just got some Velcro up there. And so that's to get it out of the way. All of the wires in here, of course, you just kind of push them back. And so otherwise, I've flown the model with a 3200 and I've flown it with a 4000. I do prefer the 3200 from the CG standpoint. We will talk about CG and controls after we give you guys the flight. But otherwise, flying the airplane, this is an extremely fun airplane to fly. It is locks on rails, it tracks super true, maneuvers really well, and with the 3200 pushed all the way back, the CG really feels nice. Maneuverability is great, nice axial rolls, great big verticals. I did install one of my afterburners in here, and so this is one of my 70mm in-runner systems, and so you run the wires forward and then set it all up with your radio, and so I'm running it off of a Y harness on the throttle. Landing the airplane, it does like a little bit of flaps. It can tend to get a bit too slow if you have too much flaps in it. I found that as you got into the flare, it would tend to get really floaty, and then you might drop a wing or something like that. So I don't have as much flap as I normally would otherwise for the landings. But also I do want to mention, when you're flying slow with full flaps in it, you just got to be aware not to get it too slow, because it will tend to want to drop a nose on you, and especially if you're in a tight turn or something like that, just be aware you want to keep your speed up. Otherwise, let's give you guys a flight. I really have been enjoying flying this airplane, and I do really like the looks of it. So yeah, let's get to it. Now I mentioned the gear were on the bench. I did want to show the retraction real quick. Everything closes up real nice and tight, and I can't understate how nice it is having the oleo struts. It's just a nice addition to have on the airframe. And here we go. All right, so there is a flight. You know, real quick, I wanted to mention my control settings, my CG location, so that way you know how I'm flying the airplane. And so first of all, related to the controls, I settled on high rate elevator and mid rate aileron. And so that equates to, for the aileron, 80% with 10% expo. For the elevator, 100% with 12% expo, and then for the rudder, that's 100% with 10% expo. And so for the flaps, I will put the control throws, of course, on the video, but I have a 6% and a 12% up elevator mix. The airplane does want a touch of up elevator in the full flap setting, especially. For the CG, I have the battery pushed all the way back as far as I can get it, with all of these wires that are in here. And so when you look at the airframe and the CG location, there's actually an ejector pin marking right here on the wing, on the top of the wing. If you pick up the airplane with your fingertips at that location, you want the airplane to be, you know, level to slightly nose down. And that CG feels really good, especially with the 3200. Pick up the airplane at that ejector pin location and it's level, feels awesome. All right, there she is, the 15th anniversary edition FMS Viper. Really fantastic flying airplane. If you are in the market for an first EDF, this is a fantastic choice, especially if you have been flying warbirds for a while, like high performance warbirds with flaps and retracts. This should be an easy step up getting into the jet game. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to see my ongoing B-58 Hustler build series, you can see that here. Until next time, I'll see you at the field.